so it's about 3 minutes after the hour here. I'm going to go over some of the house rules here. It is a webinar format, so if you do have a question, please utilize the Q&A. That question will be answered either live by one of the panelists, or it will be a typed answer. If we do not get to it, somebody will respond and send you a response after the webinar. We're going to go 45 minutes tonight, pretty much sharp. If you have questions, we do ask that when we are on that section, you ask your questions when we're on that section. We're going to cover a whole lot of ground tonight, so odds are we're probably going to get to your question. We're going to go out about a 10,000 foot level, so we're not going deep into any one thing right now. We're going to give you a good idea of what's going on with everything. With that, I'm going to send it over to Jamie to get us kicked off.
All right, thanks, Tim, and welcome everybody. I'm impressed at how many people we have joining us, so thank you, especially on short notice, and I'm sure there's a combination of practice and all kinds of fun things. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here and kick us off, because as Tim said, we've got a lot of information, and that was the main point. From an alliance level, from a league level, we've received all kinds of questions, and we wanna make sure we're here to address those. Obviously, this is all new. It's a different culture change. And so there are a lot of questions, and just know that your questions help us. So with that, let me find a better way. So as Tim mentioned, this is an overview of the agenda. We're going to start from an alliance level, and then we're going to move into specific to the HFL. So if you have a question that pertains to insurance, we just ask that you please wait till we get to that insurance part, and then please feel free to ask. Majority of our questions right now are coming from a registration level, an insurance, and then we do have information in regards to that championship event. So we'll get to that as well. But just to start, I'm Jamie Loprice. I am the executive director of the Alliance Fast Pitch. I'll be leading a lot of the Alliance conversations here. Also joining us is Tim Gorman, who's our finance director. Tim has been, honestly, I call him the glue, handles all of the business processes, finance, and he's been key on the registration. So he'll have all the insight on that. Travis Kotzenmoyer is not on the call tonight, but he is our national events director. So anytime we talk about the Alliance Fast Pitch Championship, even a partnership event we're doing with USA Softball, Travis, that is his expertise. He's out of California and Triple Crown. And then also joining us from an alliance level is Tony Rico. Many of you guys know Tony from the Firecrackers organization, now the CFL, but Tony is also key and instrumental in putting all of this together, and particularly helpful in regards to just brand development, athlete development, and coaches. So I'm going to pass the baton over to Ryan and let you introduce the HFL team.
Hey everyone, Ryan Taylor, the commissioner of the HFL. We're excited that you guys are here. Like Jamie said, we appreciate you being here and the energy behind this. You know, we're up over 100 teams. We're very excited. I want to introduce you to some people on our board. Evan Beatty, HFL Legal Affairs. We've got Greg Dickel, our deputy commissioner. Cornelius Davis, our HFL league administrator. So really he's the guy that you're going to reach out to if you have problems. I know he's the voice of what's going on, and he deals with everything and has done a great job for us. Dan Runge, our championship director. Tom Bunn, he's not able to be here tonight, but he's our junior Olympic liaison. Brian Madden, our HFL Western director. And then we also have on the call John Korn, our Eastern Division director.
All right. So just in some of this, you guys, if you've been on any other calls, it might be repetitive. But again, we want to make sure that we cover the full spectrum as best as we can. And so I don't want to read this to you, but if I could summarize what is the Alliance Fast Pitch, we get that all the time. To me, a couple key things that stand out when we talk about organizing and unifying fast pitch softball. And the HFL, the TFL, the CFL, they all started first. And then really what the Alliance has come in behind that and brought structure and brought all the leagues together. And it's way more than that. We're going to talk a lot about the membership benefits that the Alliance provides. And really, I say it, that's probably already the second time I've said it, but just in regards to a culture change of adding purpose to our play, creating pathways for these athletes. And then this sticks out to me as well in regards to driving athlete-centric programming and development. So with our member leagues working together, it's all about that purposeful play. It's meaningful games that's leading to something, a league championship, and then ultimately the Alliance Championship Series. So this is a very common question that's asked, at least of me. Is this another sanctioning body? Is this an event company? And the answer is no to both of those. In fact, in our operating agreement from the Alliance, it specifically states we are not an event execution company. However, we are working with a lot of the associations, with different event companies, and with USA Softball in regards to a lot of the member benefits that you guys will talk about. So are we a sanctioning body? No, that is not the goal here. So the four pillars that really define who we are, the enhanced competition, which is what you guys probably see the most of, right? You see the league play, the points, the postseason. It's top of mind in a lot of things, but the athlete and coach development on and off the field is going to be a huge part. You're going to see a couple videos that I play, and that's what this is all about, the opportunity to bring people together that have never worked together before, to bring generations of athletes together. We have over 700 coaches registered. That's never happened at youth softball in one, 2 weeks that we've had this. The systematic identification of top athletes, we'll talk a lot with the youth national team program, and then collaboration. And you're going to see that at the league level. You're also going to see that nationally. And collaboration is these brands that are on the call right now. It's the associations. It's all of it. Anybody that wants to provide value to the athlete experience, come on, let's go. And let's move the sport forward. So how do we create unity amongst the member leagues? And as you can see on the bottom there, if you're not familiar with the 6 leagues, you've got Texas, the Southeastern, the Rocky Mountain, the Northeastern, obviously you guys, the California League, and there's the Pacific Northwest is happening as well. So once we get the Pacific Northwest finalized, every state in the country will be represented. So what do we work together on? We've seen great collaboration happening in the past several months. It's been incredible. The amount of time that these people have invested is amazing. To me, that shows that they want change, that they desire change. They see this as something great for our sport and for the kids. And the faces you're staring at on the screen have put in a lot of work, and have been working with the other leagues. So collaboration on individual and team stats, synergy amongst points. Does that mean that everything's the same? No, but we've all learned from each other as well. Interleague play, which I will talk about, postseason bursts for the championship, working together there. And then anytime that we bring this community and network together and we add volume, we can just service more. We can service that individual more. We can lower the cost for an individual family. So membership services and sponsorship activation. All right, moving into the bigger questions. And step 1 is getting registered, and getting registered as a team and then as individuals. So I am going to toss it to you, Tim, to talk about that process.
I'm just going to hit the highlights here. So the HFL got started a little bit early. So their process, or your process, is really twofold. One is with the HFL directly, and then it's to join the member league through the Alliance and your actual member league. There's no additional member league cost. It's set at 0. The only cost that's there is for the coach registration and for the athlete registration at $50 and $45. And we'll talk about what that includes. It includes insurance and includes a host of other benefits that are there. And we'll talk about what the insurance does as well. The main thing you have to remember is the head coach or the admin or a coach needs to set up a team and then first invite parents. The parents will make a parent account and add their players, and that will be linked to your team. Okay. The only one problems we get, or the main problem, is when a coach sends it directly to the player and the player starts to make an account. So just make sure it goes to the player or the parent first. you shouldn't have any problems. So Cornelius is your admin that is on in your region to make sure everything goes smooth. I'm also there to make sure everything goes well as league apps. But for the most part, we've got close to 4,000 people signed up, and I think I have a handful of open issues right now. So for those of you that have already gone through the process, thank you. Keep up the good work.
All right, so this one, I get fired up about this because this is what, to me, besides championship, this is what it's all about. And so when all of your athletes become members and they pay that annual fee, so it covers the entire season for them. What do they get with it? We talk about the insurance. That's huge. If you already have insurance, don't worry, we're going to get to that part. The USA Softball National Team Program. This is important when we talk about the future of the sport, the youth and the national team program, professional softball. We want to be a part of this and helping contribute to that national team. When I talk about the systematic identification process, and a lot of your kids should be a part of this. And speaking to states that have not been represented very well at the national team level, this is incredibly important. I speak on that because I'm from Texas and I know how you guys feel. So truly contributing, being a part of this, having coaches being a part of that coaching committee is going to be huge too. I put this in italics because this has passed. However, this is just the beginning of a partnership with Major League Baseball, but they were offering a free app subscription and MLB TV as well. So hopefully some of you guys got that. And then what I'm going to show you guys, I'm not going to show you the whole video, but this is something we put together. And this, again, is just the start. My plan is to go across the country, get more athletes, get more coaches from all parts of the country involved in these. So here's a quick just teaser of what to expect when your athletes become a member, what this is going to look like.
I was going to be a nurse and then I was going to be a teacher and now I'm a coach. So, I mean, I feel like kids at 14 don't really know what they like.
Social media can kind of make or break you, and that was something we had always been taught.
Find that somebody who you identify with and start to model your life like that.
I don't think you have to put this pressure on you and that I can only post that it's my brand, but be smart and understand that people are going to see it, especially if you're being recruited.
Obviously, brand is very important. I think social media is a reflection of how you want to be seen, of how you want to be judged, of how you want to perceive to your teammates and to your fans and to your coaches and who you represent.
So use it in a way that you want to be seen and known as.
Player development. We're not just about making these girls great softball players. I want to make sure they're great people.
Sorry, I could go on with that. Let me stop my. So again, just to give you guys just a glimpse of what that's going to be. And so you know, when an athlete becomes a member, what they're going to have access to is all these former athletes that want to give back. And we've categorized different things that we think are important for athletes of your caliber to learn, way beyond just the field of play and learning, but it'll be way bigger than that. So that's a sneak peek. Now let me find my presentation. You guys can see my background.
I thought you just wanted to show us your face for a while, so.
That's what happens when I use a PDF.
One of the things that, why Jamie's pulling that up, you know, I think that we just want to touch on is togetherness and connecting each other. And that's been neat to see everybody within their own regions and divisions connecting with people and maybe people that they haven't talked to in 2 or 3 years, right? But they're trying to build those relationships and truly grow the game together. And that's been probably one of the aspects of this that I've enjoyed the most, is just connecting with new people or people that you haven't been in touch with for a while. And all for the betterment of the game. There's a lot of people in this game that care a lot about it, and the athlete and the player. And I think in some of the videos that you guys seen, I know Tony talked about it, the player quickly gets put to the back. And that's what this is all about, is bringing that and the player to the forefront and how we can help them and grow them, not just as softball players, but truly as people.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. You're spot on. And I just got my my screen back here. I'm supposed to be good at technology here. So the other one is the coaches. And like I said, we're over 700 coaches, but this one, just a glimpse. Again, we will have way more of these and way more representation. There's so many youth coaches out there that have been in the game for a long time and have a lot of knowledge to pass on and want to pass on. So beyond the insurance, the background check, the safe sport training, building a coach mentor program that we will release here. But this is a glimpse of just that digital library here.
Having that trail that I can kind of sponge and follow and absorb has really helped the way. And now the fact that we're sitting here communicating with each other, you know what I mean, and willing to share this information that we've all took years gathering, I think is really, truly something special. And I'm excited to really be a part of it, because I think it's going to benefit our game in so many ways. It's just, I'm really excited about it. So.
For you guys who don't know, that's Dave Mercado with the Athletics Mercado, who has been a part of this from the CFL level as well. Tony, I'll throw it to you to talk more.
Yeah, so thank you, Jamie, and thanks for everyone for being on the call tonight. And that last clip fires me up, because of those of you that don't know Dave, or those of you that have got to know Dave, he's been around for a long time, but his program, Athletics Mercado, has only been around about 7 years. And he is proven himself that he's a lion that can eat at the highest levels of the jungle. And that's how a lot of us got into a position of leverage, because we won, right? And so one of the things that I've experienced in the past is that those that have carried the biggest weight in this industry are those that have won the most trophies. But just my personal opinion, too many of those people that have been at the top of the mountain in this industry have been able to win the big trophies, but they've actually had the biggest egos and they're the most insecure. Therefore, they have personal agendas and they're not able to connect with everybody else in the industry. The change that I'm looking to be part of, and something that I can personally guarantee all of you, is that you're not going to see leadership that is going to shoot to the top based on a personal agenda. I think we're at a point in this country right now where the distrust of leadership all over the place is because there are too many people in positions of power that aren't there for the right reasons. So if we can prove our intentions for this whole move, that last video was an example of 4 guys that, listen, we go at it toe to toe like anybody, like any of you, with any of you. We all know how to go about it. But how about, instead of arguing programs and bad-mouthing each other, that we sit around and we talk it like we're sharing spaghetti recipes, and we're talking the game, and we're sharing ideas with each other. I mean, Ryan just mentioned connectivity. You know, to be a connected network is the last piece of the legacy that I'd like to leave before I pass on. And that is that we all become one for each other. So that's an example of us being able to talk about the game without trying to outdo each other. Because when we can put our egos aside, we're going to better serve you, and we're going to better inspire you to be part of this change. And that's all we want to do, is inspire you and give you options, not solicit you, not pull you, and not try to coerce you into any direction you don't want to be. So I really appreciate that little clip there, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to pass it back again to Tim as we get a lot of questions in regards to insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you join the Alliance, you're actually getting insurance through USA Softball. It's included in the overall price, either $45 or $50 for the player or for the coach. That insurance runs from September through August 31st. A lot of the questions are around, what if I already have USA Softball insurance or other insurance? That's fine. We take all of those insurances. So when you do register, you'll just have to upload your insurance information. If you've already registered, that's fine too. You can contact me, contact Cornelius, and we can get you credited. That is going to be a credit of $15 per player and per coach, because a lot of that other Alliance fee goes to support USA Softball, goes to support the member leagues, the players, the championship series, and a lot of the other events that are going on. So those are really some of the biggest questions. If you've already signed up and you haven't received anything yet, that's because about 4,000 other people have just signed up in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to be sending out a blanket coverage to you. So if you've signed up and you've paid that, and you've got your coaches there and a few of your players and you're in process, we're going to give you kind of blanket coverage that will cover you right now today. If you need special endorsements for fields, things like that, there is a number that you can call or a website you can go and click on, and they'll get you handled, and they'll get you handled usually within 24 hours. So you're not going to miss a practice. You're going to be covered right away. I know a lot of you did it and are waiting patiently. Thank you so much. And they'll be there in terms of background checks and things like that. If you've already done it through USA, they'll match that up with your existing accounts. You're not going to have to redo things that you've already done as long as it's already through that USA system. We're not looking to have anybody pay twice for the same service or do the same thing for the same service at all. We're just looking to have everybody registered and on the same system.
And same thing, and you kind of already touched on this one, just what those next steps are of insurance and background check.
Exactly.
And just so everybody knows, the idea behind this too was just simplicity, easing the process, and in that individual insurance that USA Softball offers is great, great benefit for each individual too. So, however, we don't want to stop anybody that's purchased from somebody else, and then you might play in some events, and be mindful of what team insurance they take. So I'm going to pass it over to HFL specific information and let Ryan pass this to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jamie. So we're going to give you guys just kind of a overview tonight. We won't dive in deep, like I said, to all the slides. The last town hall, we really went into our point system, but I'm going to let Dan Runge, who is our championship director, talk a little bit about our point system for our championships and how it'll seat you. We have documents on this that we can send out. So if you guys have questions around, or you haven't been on some of the other calls, we're happy to send that out. Please reach out to us. Any of us on the board have access to that, and we'll provide it. But Dan, if you'll go over our point structure.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. We really do appreciate it. We're all very excited about the opportunity here with the HFL and the Alliance. The backbone for any of the leagues is the point system. That's where we're separating ourselves. Our point system's set up basically on 3 different things. I'm just going to go over the highlights. You guys can kind of read through it here. It's going to be set up on league games, plus your winning percentage in those league games, bracket games, and tournament finishes. League games, what we call league games are pool games, friendly games. Those are what we kind of classify as league games. Then bracket games, obviously, are bracket games in HFL tournaments. So in league games, your first 6 league games will be used as a winning percentage. We need that winning percentage in case there is a tie for seeding in the championship, either the fall or summer championship. In case there is a tie with total points at the end of the season, we'll use that as a tiebreaker. And obviously, if you have less than the required 6 games, you're defaulted to 0. The league games and bracket games are all worth 5 points. Pretty simple. And then whether you're in the winners or losers bracket, you get the same amount of points. So as an example, in the tournament play, top half finishers, they'll receive a bonus in HFL affiliated tournaments. And the next slide is an example of if we have a 32 team bracket or 32 teams of 16U in a pool, the total number of points available is going to be 64. Because we just simply double that, and then we break it down to the top 16, which is the top half of that bracket is going to receive bonus points in addition to their 5 points. Go ahead, Jamie. And this is just an example of a made-up team as they competed and their total number of points at the end of the season and They won. Their winning percentage was 66.67%, which again will be used in case of a tiebreaker. And then here's bracket games. So the Team Spirit played 2 HFL tournaments, the Alliance Cup. They went 4-2. They got 20 points, 5 points for a win. They finished 6th, which was an additional bonus 4 points. And then HFL Cup, the same. Next slide. And so what's that mean to you as being a member is that's how we're going to qualify. When you qualify for the fall and summer championships, that's how you're going to be seated. It's going to be based on what you get, what you earn, and how you play. And some of the really good known teams in the country might not be high seeds. We don't know, but it's all going to come out, and you're going to have an opportunity to compete at the highest level, and you're going to earn your points. So, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for that, Dan. I think the big thing behind this is, if you're a team that's 14 and under and you want to play up, you're going to get the same league wins. You're going to get the same bracket bonus points. So if you want to go out and challenge yourself, we're going to allow you to do that. But like Dan said, just to kind of reiterate, it's about earning your way through your results on the field. It's not Dan making a decision. It's not Jamie making a decision. It's about what you produce on the field is going to directly correlate with your seeding and how you get to the championship events. Go ahead to the next slide, Jamie. I'll let Brian Madden talk about this a little bit, Western director. Don't really want to spend too much time on the schedule. You guys can look at it. We can send it out. TJ Millis, our juniors Western director, is on as well. But I'll kind of just, if you have interest, reach out to Brian. Brian, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, I'm Brian. Any kind of questions for the Western Division? We're putting together tournaments, in Oklahoma City, St. Louis, Arkansas, Kansas City. So we're definitely trying to get the schedule bigger and more opportunities.
And one of the neat things behind this, and we talk about connectivity in the sport, typically 10s, 12s, maybe even like a rec level or beginning level kind of get cast aside. We're really trying to bring everybody into the league system to where everybody has a shot, and to where some of those younger teams are having resources of the premier teams or whatever that, people with more experience. We're trying to connect that, and TJ's done a great job with the 10s and the 12s, getting them involved and giving them the same championship atmosphere that the 14s or 18s get. Ready for the next one, Jamie? Here's our North Division schedule. Go ahead and go to our Central. So again, just going through these quickly. We've got all this in an Excel document. It's on our website. Please check that out. If you ever have questions, let us know. The Mid-Atlantic, John, if you just want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm John Korn, the Eastern Director. Thank you again for attending today. We had a successful HFL Kickoff Classic this past weekend. We had about 12 teams that were signed up for the event. I'm sure that everybody will be asking, how to get all the information on win-loss and who won and those type of things and bonus points, but we'll get all that sorted out. Tom Bunn is taking care of that for us. But we have 2 more coming up in October, and kind of kicks off our Eastern, and we look for many more tournaments to come along with our fall championship.
So a little bit about our fall championships. We're actually gonna roll with 2 this year. The one is obviously in College Station. Unfortunately, in our part of the country, Missouri, Nebraska, Oklahoma play fall high school ball, and then you start to get to the end of October and it starts to get challenging weather-wise. So we wanted to put it, when somebody's playing a championship somewhere that's conducive to weather and you're not freezing your butt off. So we'll have College Station, and then we'll also have Myrtle Beach, which will give you bids to the Alliance Championship, and Jamie will talk a little bit more about that. Next slide.
Ryan, that's actually it for the league.
Okay.
So I want to make sure we have an opportunity for any questions, if anybody wants to hit any participant questions here.
I think the big thing is, we're here for you guys. We want to continue to make this better. We know where we start year one. It's going to continue to evolve. Please don't hesitate to give your suggestions. I know I'm getting some text right now of people that have suggestions on the point system or different events. If you have an event and you want to be involved with it, that's who we want to work with. We're not trying to run 35 events. We want to work with guys that already run events and do a great job. So please reach out to us. We want to team with you.
All right, so I will move on. And I think that's a great point there in regards to those questions help all of us. And that's what we're here for. So I want to speak a little bit moving now from an alliance standpoint of interleague play and what this is going to mean. Again, this is something that all the member leagues working together. So how are we defining it? This refers to games played between teams in different member leagues. So if you're an HFL team and you're registered and you match up with a California team, those points are going to matter. And so what we've done is created, we actually had a committee, a representative from each league that got together to build for this year Alliance Power Points. And so you're going to be, the goal was we don't want to make people fly across the country and go earn points. However, if that fits your schedule, if that's something that your team's used to doing, or maybe your kids want to go to college in a particular part of the country and you're used to traveling, we want to reward those teams who do. We're also in a weird time where some states aren't open for play in this fall. And so same thing of rewarding those. So it's pretty simple. 3 points for a win. If the road team wins, 2 points. If a home team wins, 1 point for a loss. So you're still being, you're still getting a point for playing. That's if you travel, if you're in the HFL and you travel to Texas, if you travel to California, if you travel to Florida. Now, if you're in the HFL and you play another league team in neutral ground, so you guys are in the HFL and you play a California team in Texas, that's going to be considered neutral ground. And so that'll be 2 points for a win, 1 point for a loss. So basically, if you travel and beat somebody on their home turf, you're rewarded more versus beating them at home or beating them on neutral ground. So pretty straightforward. For this year, what do these points mean? These are going to be used in regards to seeding. So think about college and you're watching the selection show and somebody's got to sit in that committee room or that selection committee room and has to seed those top 16 seeds. This is going to be used to help in that seeding because it's one of the best criteria for just seeing head-to-head matchups and how you compete. So based on how you finish in your league, as well as some of your alliance PowerPoints, is going to help a neutral selection committee help seed those teams. And obviously you want a top seed once we get to that alliance championship. Ryan, I know you were on that committee. This is Travis's wheelhouse. This is me filling in. So I do want to make sure that I covered that correctly. Is there anything that I missed? Okay. All right. So the question that we get all the time, what does this lead to? And this is kind of breaking news here for today, but we understand there's been a lot of conversations, there's been a lot of partnerships, and most importantly, we want to get it right with for the teams and for the athletes. And so the Alliance Fast Pitch Championship Series is going to be the name of that culminating event. So now you're one of the top performing teams in your league. What's next? Where do I go? How do I go match up against the top teams from the CFL, the HFL? The key to this, you have to earn it. There are no invites given out. You have to earn your way into the Alliance Championship, and you do that through your league championship play. So for the Tier 1 Alliance Championship Series, 64 total teams will make it to that event. And with that, those 64 berths have been divided amongst each league. And for year one, we don't really have a lot of data to go off of, right? So we looked at total number of teams or projected teams. We also looked at just body of work and kind of the total. So actually, all the leagues got together. I spoke with all the commissioners, and I thought it was a pretty honest conversation of what that looks like. So I apologize because I have 6 leagues, but I'm pretty sure it's 14 total for the HFL, correct?
That's correct. So that means this year we got to represent and kick Tony's butt in the California League, right? So we keep those bids.
So 14 total berths, and we give those to the leagues. The leagues determine how you're going to divide those amongst your fall championships, your summer championships. A couple leagues have also thrown in a couple additional qualifying events simply to account for different seasons of high school play. So your leagues will determine how you qualify for this, what we'll call the AFCS. What does it look like when you get there? 6 days max is going to be the event, and really that last day is just the championship series. So it's pretty much a 5-day event, a 4-game guarantee. It's going to start off as a regional, so 16 regionals or pools, if you will. That's going to play into a super regional. I love this format because you got to beat one team. So you make your way out of regionals, you're going to be matched up against one other team in a super regional format. That goes into an Elite 8, and then the championship series, which we're going to name one national championship. You got to beat a team twice. And we talk about preparation for college. That's what you got to do. If anybody, I've been there. I had the luxury of trying to figure out how to beat Katie Burkhart in 2 games and definitely couldn't figure that one out. So if these kids can figure it out at 12, 14, 16, that's going to be preparation. That's big time for them. So the next slide is the big one here. So for each age division, Tier 1 and Tier 2 will be played in the same location. We thought that was important in regards to travel. So that way, if I'm a 16 and under team and I know I'm pretty good, I know I'm going to Oklahoma City. I just don't know if I've qualified for Tier 1 or if I've qualified for Tier 2. Yes, you'll recognize some names over here in the far right. And this has been, part of the process of just nailing down partnerships and locations as well. When you look at the dates, I'm very aware of what those dates are. We were very mindful of the athlete and how many schools start fall ball on August 1st. So getting those kids done as close to August 1st as possible was really important for the coaches we spoke with. Colorado for the 10s and 12s this year, 14s, Florida, we're working on finalizing that with Space Coast, 16s and 18s, Oklahoma City. So another thing is that venue. As an athlete, you want to play in the best possible venue. You need a stadium for that championship games. We want to roll out all the bells and whistles off the field and give those kids the true championship experience that they deserve. Media, banquets, recognizing our top individual performers of the year. You should go in there feeling like it's a championship the entire time, off the field and on the field. So this has been, yes, I would have loved to roll this out, a couple months ago. But again, we want to get it right. The date range, we're looking at a 6-day window within this particular date range. So once everything is finalized, which should be in the next 5 to 7 days, we will have a big announcement with exacts on dates as well. All right. So from that, which probably a lot of questions and screenshots going on right there. But the questions, and this is, I wanted to make sure that we, if you have particular questions, you know who to go to. So in regards to registration, Cornelius is your man. He's the league administrator handling. He's working closely with Tim on a lot of those registration. I think that's probably the #1 question right now, to make sure that we're getting your team and then all your individuals signed up so you can have all those membership benefits and the championship play. If anybody has particular questions from the Alliance, please reach out to us and use this email address so that we make sure we get that answered. All right, let me stop sharing. And I will open it up for, we've got a few minutes here if there's any additional questions that we want to address as a group.
One question is, will you send the slides out afterwards? I don't think we're going to send the slides out, but this is being recorded. So you can go back through and look at it, watch it, slow it down, go back. And again, if you guys ever have questions, go ahead and reach out to any of us.
Yeah, and just so to reiterate on that, with the recording, we will post this from an Alliance standpoint. We'll put it on our social. I know the HFL will put it on their social. So you will be able to go back and watch and to share. Ryan, anything else or from your group, from the HFL, that you guys would like to add in closing?
No, I think, this summer was fun. It was successful. We obviously had a few standalone events, and we appreciate everybody playing, but it's going to be it's fun getting into the fall and the spring and having the true league format, right? And competing out on the field and seeing results, posting girls. It's going to be neat if there's a girl in Western Kansas or Western Oklahoma that's leading the stats, and college coaches start asking about her, because that's something special for her. And that really separates us in the league system. So we're fired up about it. We're excited. And again, I just want to reiterate, we're here for you. We're here to help you guys. We're here to grow the game. Please give us your suggestions. There's a lot of smart people in our community, and I know we can get better.
Absolutely. And it is fun, you guys. And it's a group effort. It's a team effort. And I say this a lot, but it's a culture change, and changing a culture takes time. And we're very aware of that. And we want to work together. We want to hear from you. I'm looking at a couple of these names. I've already talked to a few of you, and you have great input. It's about all of us in this, because really, most importantly, it's about the kids. So before I wrap it up, I want to give anybody, Tim or Tony, would you like to close it out?
Yeah, so this is about, it happens in a couple different levels. So I'd like to say that I appreciate and commend everyone that's building the bridge to a new place. None of us are building the bridge because we're bridge builders and this is what we want to do, or it's what we need to do. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that are willing to cross first, because there's a certain risk assessment as far as that goes as well. And the third level of people are those that you need to make sure people have crossed, the bridge didn't collapse. So I would encourage all of you to do your due diligence. We are providing options and we are encouraging change, but we are not soliciting. We're not trying to persuade you to do anything. We're just trying to allow you to have the best options and to feel included in this industry. So do your due diligence, make the best decisions that you need to for your families, for your teams, for your organizations. Keep your eye on us. We all like to compete, but we actually all care about you as well. So hopefully we'll see all of you down the road at some place, one place or another.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate everybody who's participated and joined. Thank you to the HFL team. I do think everybody should be commended for the time, the sweat equity that a lot of people have put into this and stepped up to the plate to do that. So thank you, everybody. And I look forward to meeting everybody on this call and being a part of the change. So have a good night.